All right, class. So in the previous class, we finished embedding, right? This one 4.2. Now we are going to start off with another concept. We are done with all of these things, right? You can practice these tasks as well. The key is given. Now, let's start with the chapter 5, that is tenor, mood system and interactions in the clause. Now, what is mood? Mood has evolved out of the requirement that the language should serve as a means of action, a way of exchanging goods and service and information. Now, why do we communicate? This is the basic question. Can anyone answer? Why do we need to communicate? What is the need here?
Sir, to deliver our message.
And why do you want to deliver your message?
uh, Sir,
I
for
think
our
I think we do have other students in the class as well, not just Asra. And class participation does have marks. Any other answer? Yes, rest of you, are they listening to me or right?
Yes, sir, we are listening.
You're listening to me. So what comes to your mind when I ask you this? That why do we communicate? As I said, that to exchange, communicate. We communicate. That's why we have to talk. We want to deliver our message. But what sort of message usually it is? Most of the time, we exchange information and we exchange goods and services, right? Okay, because it's all about instrumentality. For example, most of the time communication is held because you want other people to do something for you, right? Um, for example, when kids they start learning language, right? Okay, so they use language to communicate about their needs, right? And from our needs, actually, the instrumentality takes birth from. So the concept is that human beings interact and they interact because they want to fulfill their needs, right? And for that, right, the kind of instruction they are the kind of communication they're engaged in, that is basically exchanging goods, services, and information. Now let's have a look at this. What is it all about? Why study the mood system? How does the study of mood system and modality help us understand language use or improve our language skills? These are quite valid questions. Halliday interprets dialogues as the expression of interpersonal relationship. So, of course, human beings are usually, engaged in dialogues, right? So they exchange their views. And the major grammatical resource in English to construe interpersonal meaning is the clause system of mood. Now, what is mood? Now, there are three elements here of the mood which you have to keep in mind. Let me use the pen for this. So you have to understand it has three forms. The first one is declarative. What is declarative? Can anyone tell me?
sir, declarative sentences are those sentences where we have uh, just a statement, affirmations or maybe negation.
Very good. So
That is called declarative.
declarative means that you give a statement, right? Simple. Then we have interrogative. You already know what is this?
Yes, sir.
What is this? You ask question, right?
Caution.
And the third mode is imperative. And what is imperative?
So imperative mode is you were asking order, suggestion, advice, command, request.
Very, very good. So these are the three, uh, elements, components, right? Mood is comprised of, right? So when we are talking to each other, we declare something, we question, or we give instructions, right? And that's what the mood is, right? And that's why it says that human beings are engaged in dialogues, and the dialogues could be in any of these forms. In any of these forms, we may just simply state about something, we may ask questions, or we may give the instructions, right? Is this clear to you guys so far? What is mood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, as Higgins and Slade illustrate in the analytical conversation, this grammatical analysis can help us to relate linguistic behavior to certain social roles and to understand the choices people make in order to position themselves and their fellow interactants. This study shows the difference in social roles in parent-son talk through the analysis of clause type choose in the mood system. Now, the most significant example of the unevenness of the talk is found in the choice of clause types. While the parents produce a large number of interrogative clauses, the son produces an overwhelming number of declarative clauses, right? Now, for example, you are appearing in an interview, right? What do you expect to be using most of the time? Declarative statements or interrogative?
Sir, interrogative.
No, they will be using interrogative. You will be using declarative most of the time.
जी sir. Yes, sir.
You said other way around, right? Right. So this means like, when we are analyzing someone's speech, right, we need to focus on mood system in within the mood system, because mood system gives us three resources here, right? Okay. Interrogative and declarative, and the third one is imperative, right? So we need to focus on mood system and then link that mood system and the context, and this way we will come up with the speech patterns and all that, right? So that's why this is very important. Okay. Only on the basis of accurate identification of clause selection can we move on to consider conversational implications, what it means when different speakers choose different clause types. There, as repeatedly said, many constraints one's linguistic behavior arising from the context of culture, context of situation. For example, in one culture, particular institutional role may not give a speaker access to all linguistic choices, while in another culture, that same role might do it. For example, even in our culture, when you're talking to your parents, right? Okay. So most of the time, you don't question. Most of the time, you are engaged in declarative sentences. And even in certain contexts, right? You are not even supposed to say anything and just listen to them. Am I right?
सर समटाइम्स या फिर ऑलवेज
Maybe, sometimes, always, right? Because it depends. It depends how strict the environment you have at home, right? It depends on that. Now, the point is that the situation or the context of the situation determines whether you have all these three options available or you don't have these, or one of them is available or two of them are not available. For example, most likely you wouldn't be using imperative as a resource in language. Why? Because you are not supposed to give instructions to your parents. Is that clear now? Right? So that means the roles, your social roles, right? Okay, also shape your language, right? Okay, and they decide what sources you are going to use and which sources you are not going to use when you're conversing. Do you understand this point? Hello, class, waiting for
Yes,
your
sir.
responses.
यस सर
क्या हो गया? कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे हो तुम लोग तो। आज रोजा वोजा लग रहा है, मुझे लगता है तुम लोगों को।
यस सर सर नींद आ रही है
नींद तो नहीं आनी चाहिए, काफी जगा रहा हूँ, बुला रहा हूँ, फिर क्यों नींद आ रही है? ऑलराइट, ओके, नाउ
Sir,
टास्क
sir,
फॉर
I just want to ask one question. सर हमारे पास exclamatory sentences भी हैं और हमारे पास optative sentences भी हैं. But these two sentence मतलब mod not included in this mode.
Exclamatory sentences use करो. Anyone.
सर जैसे कि what a beautiful eyes she has.
So when you say what a beautiful eyes she has, is it a statement or not?
सर हाँ, it is a statement.
So that can
So
fall under
again, okay,
declarative, right? दूसरा
okay.
क्वेश्चन क्या था तुम्हारा?
Sir, optative, may you live long and all. So again, it is declarative.
Now, when you say may you live long, right?
Hmm.
Right? So it's a
Yes.
statement or not?
So again, a statement.
That falls under
Okay,
declarative, right? So
okay, okay,
there
sir.
is no other
Okay,
type, right? Okay,
okay, sir.
right. Okay, tasks for discussion. What are some institutional roles in your country that might condition or constrain the speaker's linguistic choices? Now, all the tasks you got to do at home during the class timings, right? Because of course I'm not going to speak for 3 hours, and this is also a constraint that if I just uh, mute myself and ask you to do the task and then share, right? It's a big hassle, right? So it's better that we finish all the talk, the lecture, whatever I have to teach you, then I'll give you some hours, right? Okay. You finish your task and submit them. Is this clear now? So I am not going to stick here for 3 hours, 3 or 2 hours, right? Rather, I'll be here for 1 hour or 30 or 45 minutes unless I finish my content, right? And once that's done, you're going to attempt the task. So please note down the task. First task is the discussion one. So you write a note about that and send it to me, right? Not right now, after the lecture. This is the first task. Please note down the task or the page number. Once you're done, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me scroll down. Interpersonal meanings and clauses exchange. Interpersonal meanings includes all that may be understood by the expression of our own personalities and personal feelings, right? On the one hand, and forms of interaction and social interplay play with other participants in the communication situation on the other hand. As you know, within the situation of context, the variables that determine such meaning is the tenor. You already know what is tenor. We discussed about that. Can anyone tell me what is tenor? What is
Sir,
this?
basically, tenor basically who is involved in the communication, like
Communication, the
poet
audience
है,
who you're
friends
talking
and
to.
audience.
Yes. So your audience who you're talking to. So this is one of the components there, right? So we know that in the context of situation, we have field, tenor, and mode, right? Now, tenor, which is concerned with the kind of exchange taking place, the animate participants involved in the communication event and their relationship. When they say animate, so that means human beings, the one who can talk, right? Attitude and personality, social and discourse roles. In the same way as certain lexical-grammatical features in the system of transitivity are particularly the result of field, so other lexicographic features in the mood system are particularly activated by the tenor too. How language is constructed to enact interpersonal meanings and especially to express opinions, values, judgment is the focus of this chapter. Now, transitivity, can you tell me what is transitivity? Transitivity refers to the process types, right? Or in short, I will just like at the point because I haven't taught you transitivity. It is all about the verbs being used, right? That is the transitivity, and it's also about the participant engaged in a class, right? Their roles, their actor or their goals and what they are, right? But right now, this chapter wouldn't be talking about much about that. It would be focusing on the interpersonal meanings and all this, right? So we are going to forego process and transitivity for the time being, and we'll get back to that in the next chapter. but I believe that you do have a little idea about that transitivity, right? Okay, let me scroll down. The clause is exchange. As you have studied in the course Introduction to Functional Grammar, when we analyze a text for interpersonal meanings, we study the clause in its function at the site of exchange, and in particular in terms of the kind of exchange taking place, participants' relationship, discourse roles, the assessment of the speakers about the validity or truth of the statement being made, that is modality, attitudes, values, and judgment. Now, what is kind of exchange and what is exchange? Right now, when I'm talking to you, right, I'm exchanging some information. In return, you may be, sharing some opinion or your own understanding and all that. Now, that is called exchange of, information sort of thing, right? Now, let's understand what is exactly the exchange and what are their types. In speaking writing, we engage in exchange in which we take on speech roles. The fundamental speech roles we take are giving and demanding, right? So, right now, when I am talking to you, am I not giving you the information? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Why
Yes,
only
sir.
Asra? What are others doing? And I believe that everybody has to participate. Binish, Fatma, you all are sleeping. Laiba, Manahil,
Yes,
Sania,
sir.
you guys are sleeping. I don't know even you are listening to me or not. Then that's why I badly hate teaching online. I don't know why Bahia often goes for that, but this is the worst thing. This is the worst way of teaching. Why? Because you don't see the students whether they're listening to you or they're not, they aren't listening to you. Right? So don't force me that I ask you to turn on your video so I can see you. I don't want it. Well, honestly speaking, I hate that also. So please do participate, right?
Okay, sir.
Oh God. Yes. The exchange of information gave us propositions, while the exchange of goods services gave us okay. Now where am I talking? These exchange we give and demand commodities which are either good and services, information B. Exchange are thus the giving of good services or information, or the demanding of good services or information. Now, here you need to understand what is good and services and what is information, and we really need to, differentiate between these two things. So keep that thing in mind. Stay focused on this. The exchange of information gives us propositions, while the exchange of goods and services give us proposals. Within the category of propositions, we can have the speech functions of a statement and question. And within the category of proposals, we have the speech function of offer and command. Now, what do you understand by this? Can anyone just make a, what you call that, guess about that? What does that mean?
Like you are giving the commands.
So if I give you a command, right, and I offer you something, right, I suggest you something. So that would be the proposals, right?
Yes.
Right? And if I state something and ask you the questions, that would be propositions, right?
Ye yes, sir.
Okay. Each function elicits a preferred or dispreferred response. And the review slides in Freddy Functional Grammar introduction to this. Speech functions are linked to the situation of contact. The social role of participants in an interaction will constrain their choice of speech functions and contemporaneously of mood choice as well. See table 1 at the end of this section. Okay, fine. Illustrate the overlapping combination of speech function with their characteristics, more congruent mood realization in the clause. I will open the door. What is this? Proposition or proposal? Hello.
Proposal.
Sir, proposal.
Yes, sir. Proposal.
It's proposal. Why? It's an offering,
Yes, sir.
right? Open the door, please.
सर
सर,
ओपन द डोर
कमांड
प्लीज।
कौन
सर ये
सिर्फ
फिर
प्रपोजल ही होगा ना? It's not about asking a question.
Open the door is the commanding, right? So it is proposition or proposal. I'm going to
Sir,
show you the same,
it's
the,
saying
the previous text. Hold on. Please read this again. The exchange of information give us proposition, while the exchange of goods and service gives us proposal. With the category of proposition, we can have the speech function of statement and question, right? Within the category of proposals, we have the speech function of offer and command. Is this commanding or offering or
सर
questioning?
कमांड
So if it's commanding, it's proposal or it is proposition,
सब proposal।
right? Now, in one, someone is offering a service. In two, someone is requesting a service. Okay. Um, and in three, someone is giving an order. Three may open the door. Because why this is asking the service? Because he's also using please,
प्लीज
right? Okay, so
Please
sort of
basically
request. Yeah,
showing the request.
request. So how we formulate request and command or an offer of service will depend on the relationship of the participants or on the culture norms or governing these relationships. As I told you, if your teacher is going outside carrying a lot of stuff in both hands, right, and you say that I'll open the door, right? So the context is shaping, right? The your context is shaping this conversation or not, or your choice of this sentence. Why have you chosen this sentence? Because you want to offer him help. Is that clear? Right? Or on the same way, if your teacher is himself requests, open the door, please, right? So this would be considered a request because that's not your job to do, right? So he's simply requesting you. On the other hand, if you're talking to a servant, right, and you say, open the door, right? So that is the demand command, actually, right? So this is how context is shaping, right? Context is limiting you to pick certain language resource or language option, right? And why? Because the context, the situation demands that, right? So of course you cannot your teacher should not say open the door when you're not supposed to do that thing. He may request and he has to use the word please over here, right? And same way, when you're offering someone to do something, right? That means you want to help. You cannot say open the door. You have to say I'll open the door, right? So all these resources are dependent on the situation, that what is happening, right? What the situation is, what is your role, and what is the as a speaker, and what is the role of the listener, right? Because the exchange is happening between two of you. Then, now there is one task here. In what situation would the three utterances above be used? No key for this task, and I think I've discussed that, right? Already. Task two. Where do you think the following conversation takes place? How do the choices in the lexicograph of the two adjacency pairs reveal information about the participants and their relationship? The conversation is taken from Hartley. The discussion of this conversation is included in the key to task at the end of the chapter. All right. What is your name, boy? Dr. Pausint, I am physician. What is your first name, boy? Alvin. Right. Now, here you need to understand the roles of these, uh, speakers, right? Okay. And how do choices in the lexicograph of the two adjacency pairs reveal information about the participants and their relation? What do you think? What is the relationship here, by the way?
सर आई थिंक डॉक्टर एंड पेशेंट।
So I don't understand maybe, but why would that the patient would say, "What's your name, boy?"
Maybe doctor is asking what. Okay, okay.
So he's saying, I'm a physician, for God's sake, Asra.
हाँ,
Read it
नहीं नहीं नहीं
carefully.
नहीं 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 sir, नहीं 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 नहीं. What's your name?
Okay, this task two, you also note down, do it at home, right? And because I want to finish things here. Now, here are some speech functions. When you are giving command, right, you use imperative sentences, right? Okay. When you offer, you modulated interrogative, shall I, shall we, or you can use even imperative and sometimes declarative also. When you state, you use declarative and even tag declarative, right? And when you question, you use interrogative and modulated declarative also. Now, what another task, what you really need to do is to figure out, come up with the example. This is again your task, right? Let me use this one. Okay, I just got 1 minute, right? So you're going to join back. Anyway, you have to find out what is tag declarative examples, modulated declarative examples, and the rest I believe that you already know, right? And what is congruent and incongruent? What do you understand by congruent and incongruent?
Sir, I don't.
Can anyone tell? If
No,
I
sir.
get disconnected, please you have to join again because Zoom time is over. So I'm just
Okay,
stopping it, right? Okay, and I will continue with the congruent and incongruent things, right? Okay.
okay, sir.